All right, taking a trip home from getting coffee, see if we can do it with no disengagements. Let's see what happens. Still in the parking lot. Parking lots are typically the trickiest spot to navigate. This one seems to be going well, but it wasn't crowded. It's also raining slightly. Always good to check out how performance has changed. Rain, it's not raining hard, just a little bit of water. You'll get a message here that says self-driving performance may be not as good. So this is not right. If you see, we are not in a lane. All right, now. Okay, so it pulled out onto the shoulder. And I was a little concerned there that I was gonna have to take over, but it did shift and get in the lane. It just didn't recognize right away that it wasn't in the lane. But when it did, it moved over. I was just gonna put on the windshield wipers to give a better view, but they came on. You see me touching here, that's because it says apply slight force to the steering wheel. That's just that nag that makes sure you're paying attention. Got a good feeling about this drive. I think this is going to be one with zero disengagements. There were a couple of tricky spots on this route before where it would do weird things where it would have to take over, but they seem to have been fixed in the latest update, which is one of the greatest things about Tesla and self-driving and the software. It's just updates, right? So your car is basically like your iPhone at this point, where you get downloads, you install them, you have new features or better performance, and you get them pretty regularly. Apply slight turning force to steering wheel, then you see it starts to get blue up here to really get your attention to do it. It'll start beeping and yelling at me after that, but we'll just touch the steering wheel. So we're going to make a left turn up here. So far, so good. I use self-driving so frequently now that I feel like I'm less impressed with it than I was before. It's just become normal that the car drives itself, takes me where I'm going. When self-driving first came out, it was a little scary, to be honest. Braking was super hard. It would do weird, scary things where you would think you were going to die. But through those updates, incrementally, it's gotten to this level where the car drives itself end to end from destination, from starting point to destination. So right now the speed limit's 35. It's going 40 because I haven't set to go that much over the speed limit. The speed limit's going to change up here in a minute, and it should read that sign and start going faster. Here's that apply force to the steering wheel again. Here comes the blue line to get your attention. I'll let it beep for a second. There's the speed limit change. We'll start going faster. Now it's going to start yelling at me. And if I didn't do that, it's going to count. If I didn't touch the wheel after that, it counts as a strike. It disengages, tells you can't use self-driving until the next drive. After, I believe it's 5 of those at this point. If you have 5 of them, your self-driving is suspended. And it makes sense, right? You don't want people doing stupid things while this is in beta. The question is, how much longer will it be in beta? I feel like it's getting really close. The question is, what's going to happen with regulatory issues? When will it be allowed to drive on its own? But the software is definitely getting close. half mile to go up this road, then we'll be on some back roads without lane markings, and you'll see it drives just as well on those. This left turn we're coming up on, if you've watched some of my other videos, it's one where I show the bad visibility turns where it has trouble pulling out onto this road, but it shouldn't have any problems going this way. All right, so now we have no lane markings on this road. There's a person walking here. Let's identify the person here. We'll stay to the side. The only thing that's odd, and I've mentioned it in some other videos, is this current version, 11.4.4 of self-driving, tends to drive in the middle of the road on unmarked roads. It hasn't been a problem for me. It feels wrong, but as it identifies cars or other traffic, it moves over to the side. But it definitely tends to go towards the middle. Here's a golf cart that was identified first as it looked like a little car, and then it switched and looked like a motorcycle. I guess Valve didn't build into the software yet, but it did recognize it as a moving object on the road. I think if you wanted to look at the progression of self-driving and my comfort level with it, just look at some of the old videos on my channel. I was a lot more nervous with it. I feel like my hand was always right here all the time. There's a person walking up here. When that happens, I will probably get my hand here and be prepared, but you can see we're moving over to the side, going around. No problems. But when there's not other people or cars in the road, I have zero concern. I'm ready to take over, but I'm not keeping my hand at the wheel. This is it. Made it home. Zero engagement trip. That's awesome. Thanks for watching. Check out my channel. I've got a lot of other videos if you're interested.